And this is the update on the latest Toro that I got. So trash pick, cleaned this up. And we're going to take this carburetor apart today and see what's in there, because it won't start. It's a fuel related issue with this. The reason why they put this out in the trash. But it really cleaned up nice. This is the Toro with the cover off. I took this off yesterday and cleaned this and blew all the trash out before I washed it. There was a lot of grease around here, but auto choke is not stuck and the throttle is not stuck on here. So something's in that carburetor that's plugging it up. I'm not sure how much I'll show on this, but first we're going to take off this air filter housing, pinch this fuel line, and get this carburetor off, and I'll show you what we find inside. This housing is just dripping oil out, and we're going to replace this greasy air filter as well. It's still dripping. I'm not sure where all this oil is coming from this Toro, unless it got tilted. And here's the Toro's very dirty, greasy carburetor. Found that one of these bolts, the right hand one, was really loose on this carburetor, which could have been the entire problem here. Since we've gone this far, we're going to go ahead and clean this outside off and then take this bolt off and flush this tank out as well. And we got the outside of this carburetor really clean now. I'm ready to take the bowl off and see what's plugging this up. And also drained all the gas out of this tank. Gas just looks really old. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's some actual water in the bottom of here as well, even though this water bottle is empty. So this tank got introduced to some water in here at some time or the other, and may find some water in this bowl as well. So let's get the bowl off and see what we find here. And I got a clean work area here and a empty water jug here to put the parts in. This thing's already dripping. So let's take this 1/2-inch nut off, bowl nut off here. Wow, that was really on tight. And it's dripping all kind of gook out of here. Yep, that is definitely plugged up looking. That hole looks like it's plugged up. Let's see if this bowl will break loose. It did. Oh yes. That is definitely our problem here. It is a very dirty carburetor, as you can see. Let's see if we can get this float pin out. And got the float and needle out. So let's clean everything out here, all these holes, and see if we can get this carburetor cleaned out good enough to get it back running again on this Toro. Doesn't look all that bad, but it's definitely dirty. So we got everything cleaned up on this Toro carburetor now. This bowl is really stained. It looked like there was water in here because you can see the start of rust right here that was in this carburetor. So cleaned out all the holes and passages here, and this jet, the bowl nut jet, was totally clogged up. That hole will come out. There we go. Now you can see all the way through it. So that was the reason why I couldn't keep it running. So let's do the final assembly on this. I'm also going to replace this rubber seat in here. It looks like it's pretty worn, and now's a good time to go ahead and do this to make sure we're not having a problem with that either. I'm glad I did that. Look how worn this is if this comes out at all. It was just really brittle. We're going to install this rib side down. And we can take the back of a drill bit that fits in this hole and just pack this seat down. And now we're ready to put the needle and float back in. Now let's put the float bowl back on. And there we go. Fully assembled, clean carburetor. I can turn this upside down with the needle and can't blow any air in it, and turn it right side up and can blow a lot of air in it. That tells me it's going to get fuel now. So it's always best to replace these little rubber seats if they're dry and brittle. Certainly I've learned my lesson of not doing that in the past. So let's reassemble this carburetor back on the Toro. And the carburetor is back on. Cleaned out this air filter housing as well. Put some fuel in it, it wasn't leaking, and we're going to replace this very greasy air filter with a used one because I don't have a new one. It certainly should make it run much better here. So once we get this back on and the decorative cover, we're ready to give this Toro a start. And this will be the first start after cleaning the carburetor here on this trash pick Toro Personal Pace Recycler 22-inch. It's got the 7.0 gross torque Briggs & Stratton engine, 190cc, and Personal Pace. Put a used air filter in here. That one was really greasy. It's not leaking gas. So let's see if this will correct the problem with this Toro Personal Pace. It was really reeking of old gas. First start, here we go. There we go. That sounds great. Cleaned up very nice too. See if it smokes any oil here. A little bit overfilled. So good. I haven't sharpened the blade on here yet. Now let's see if the Personal Pace works. Got a little bit of vibration in here. That blade needs balancing. Oh yeah. Don't want to cut much. I was going to sharpen the blade when I cleaned the carburetor, but I haven't done it yet. Boy, that runs great. Like a brand new lawnmower. I love a trash pick lawnmower like this. I got the height adjustments loosened up here. That is nice. It's a simple carburetor cleaner. Wow, that runs great. Very nice mower. Brought it back to life. And still not sure why that tape was on there.